You're listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. Each week, your host, Polly Requa, interviews veterinarians and individuals in the pet industry from across the nation answering pet questions. Bark and Wag podcast is produced weekly for your enjoyment, and show notes can be found at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. That's BARKNWAG.com. Please remember to subscribe to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. Bark and Wag is dedicated to protecting our dogs through advocacy, education, and supporting like-minded dog lovers by selling custom pet products. Bark and Wag is excited to announce our new partnership with a Colorado hemp farm to produce a line of CBD products for your pets. Bark and Wag has CBD pet tincture available in 300, 750, 1200, and 2400 milligrams. Bark and Wag CBD is pet safe, no THC, it's made in the USA, and is CO2 extracted. Please check out Bark and Wag's website, barkandwag.com. That is BARKNWAG.com to see our line of CBD and awesome merchandise. We love pooch ideas for podcasts and merchandise, so anytime send an email to Polly at barkandwag.com with your suggestions.
Welcome to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. I'm your host, Polly Requa. Today we're talking to Cindy, Executive Director of PugHearts of Houston Pug Rescue. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the podcast again. I wanted to have you back to discuss the different aspects of a rescue organization. You know, you kind of talked at the first time I had you on about how you needed volunteers, and it was interesting because I've volunteered for lab rescue in Illinois, and really we just were in Illinois and Wisconsin, and it sounds like your organization, you have pugs in, you said 10 states, correct?
We have adopted dogs that are actually in 20 states now.
20 states. Okay. So what I wanted to do is find out the different tiers that you have within your organization and how listeners and potential new volunteers can help you.
Sure. First and foremost, it's all about the pugs. So we have to get them to us. Many people live out of the area. Our vet is here in Houston, so any dog that comes into PugHearts has to make it here. So we have many people that do transports. Transport is just all or a part of getting a dog from where it is currently into an area where PugHearts has got fosters, which is Houston. And once that happens, then we have folks who actually help transport the dogs from the foster home to the vet and back and forth. We also have people who work applications. Volunteers that work our applications are doing vet checks and personal reference checks, trying to make sure that we're picking the very best homes for our fosters. We have volunteers that help us keep our pet finder updated. That's kind of a data entry piece. We also work on getting our website updated regularly with dog pictures and bios from the fosters to tell people about our dogs. Unfortunately, in rescue, there's a ton of paperwork. Paperwork never stops. So there's filing and copying and scanning and all of those wonderful things that go with it as well. And then, of course, there's always raising funds. We have folks who do garage sales. We have folks that sell certain products, and they'll have events for their products and make a donation of a portion of that to PugHearts. We have folks that do home visits. Home visits are where we actually have a person physically go to the applicant's home, and we're not looking for, is it super clean? Is it really nice? We want to know, is it safe? Is the fence intact? Are they ready for a dog? Do they have wires all over the place that, inevitably a dog's going to chew? So those are the things that they're looking for in a home visit. So there's always a place for everybody, and we want PugHearts to feel like a group of friends that want to make lives better for the pugs.
And how can people get a hold of you?
They can email us through our website at pughearts.com, or they can use the email address info at pughearts.com.
And one other question I wanted to ask you, the South seems to be lacking in laws to protect dogs.
Correct.
What what can be, and this could be another podcast, but just what are some of the things that people can do to get those laws changed, do you think?
I encourage people to start at the local level. Know what the law is regarding animals. Companion animals is usually how they call them. In your city, in your town. Get involved at your local shelter. What do they do? How are they getting dogs cared for? How are they making sure that animals are getting the things that they need while they wait on families? And then once you understand that, every animal's, well, at least in Texas, every animal services center actually has an advisory board. Join your local advisory board. Tell them what it is you want to see happening there. And then talk to your elected representatives. The state I'm in, Texas, treats animals as a piece of property. I get that that's the law. I don't necessarily enjoy that feeling. But in Texas, an animal is worth about $150 to $200. That's got to change if we're going to make lives better for these animals that are on the street. So find your place. Find your spot in your town, your city, your county, and get involved. Ask questions. Have a voice. Make sure that you're speaking out for the ones that don't have one.
I just find it quite shocking that in the 21st century that the laws are so archaic.
The law always moves slower than society. And the only way that's going to be different is people getting involved. One group is never going to be enough. It's got to be a bunch.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure you have a network of rescues that are trying to make changes. So.
Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I certainly appreciate you being on the podcast, and I will put all the information regarding how to volunteer with PugHearts in the show notes. And I look forward to having you back because we love pugs.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We love pugs with you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much and have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, www.barkandwag.com, to your friends and other pet owners. Have a pressing question for a veterinarian? Ask your question at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. This has been a KFR production. Join us next time for another edition of Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk.